An AC and a quarter. Duh.
This is like before the world-beating, 3-time world champion assassin Andy. This was like the young, fun, nervous, manic, twitchy, ripping, explosive teenage Andy that we kind of played with in the mid-90s.
Alright, so we're recording. What's up?
Sup?
Board reporting, Matt Biolos,
The reporter.
the reporter, super reporting, AI Pro,
96 or 97.
remake of the Andy Irons board, and
Yeah.
I don't know, what was the deal? What was the board? Was it like a magic board of his? Or?
It wasn't a magic board.
Okay.
No. I mean, we made him a lot of boards at that time. This is like before the world-beating, 3-time world champion assassin anteater. This was like the young, fun, kind of nervous, manic, twitchy, ripping, explosive teenage andy that we kind of played with in the mid-90s. And I used to just shape on these random boards. And I got one gifted back to me from Skip Snead, the former editor of Surfing Magazine, gave me one back about 5-6 years ago. So Griffin saw it in my office and said he wanted to ride it, and he did, and he ripped on it at Lowers. You were involved in that. You guys all rode boards out of the rafters, you know?
Yeah, that was fun.
Right?
Fun day. I rode the Julian Wilson one. Like,
yeah.
That thing was sick.
Which one? The one with like the clown on it? Yeah.
I think it was like an F1 stub.
F1,
F1 stub.
That's the board that he did the pop shove it on, and he got a couple 9s on it in the Lowers event one year.
Yeah, that was a fun project. Everyone had those boards on there, but I remember Griff was like very like
the only that
was
Griff
like,
yeah.
He was in love with that thing.
Yeah. So he's the one that said, "Oh, you should make more of them." So I had scammed it in. We had it exact scanned, and this board here is, we had it scanned by the guys at Marco Foam, the guys that make the EPS plane, and they did a digital replication of it. Gave me the file, I cleaned it up a little, fine-tuned it, and made different sizes. So this is an exact replica of Andy's board from 30 years ago.
What's different about this than like the new school boards that you're making, I guess, for Griff and those guys, that high-performance F1s and driver 3s and whatever?
About 2 inches of excess. So if you see like the tail, this board has like almost 2 5/8 tail rocker, which is pretty radical for a 6.2.
That's a lot of tail rocker.
Because the board's extended, and so basically the tail is also kind of narrow. So if you whack like 3/4 of an inch off of this, it would kind of start looking like a normal, like maybe an F1 tail. The tail rocker would lower by shortening it, so it would be like 2.5 inches. And that's kind of the realm of a high performance board nowadays, just a wider tail. So then now you're like a little over 6'1". And then the real crazy difference is the nose. It's got that needle nose and that elf shoe. So say you cut like an 1.5 inches off of this, or 1.25 inches, and re-templated the outline, it would get rid of this elf shoe kick, and it wouldn't look so narrow here. So what you would have is like a board that looks very similar to what you guys ride today, or like what the competitors ride on the World Tour. It's got a single concave running through the guts. It has a little bit of V blended, which was something I was really into, and our grovelers still do that. Like the Subdriver, various grovelers. And then another crazy thing is when we got the scan, I noticed that the entry rocker in this area is really, really low. It's really, really flat here. It's got a lot of instant speed. And then the elf shoe kick kind of maps how low the rocker really is. 12 inches and 24 inches from the center. So it's a different rocker than what's, say, in vogue nowadays.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
You could feel that. I just rode it down in Mexico at the right sand bottom point breaks, and that, I guess, like it would be that low rocker entry point. Like when you're just standing there, the thing goes so fast down the line. Like loading up on a wave where you're like drawing down the line, just standing there, just flying. But then it's got, I guess, all that rocker. So when it was finally time to throw it up in the lip, it just was like beyond fast up into the lip.
It's definitely been an interesting thing to look at and possibly affect, like looking back to look forward. Maybe like, we could probably get away with a little less entry rocker than we're using right now.
Totally. And that's what I was digging about it too, because I kind of rode it later on in the trip. I was like frothy to ride my new boards and good waves and whatever, and then this was like day 3. I'm like, all right, sick, like time to bust out the AI board.
Yeah, now that you're settled in.
Now I'm settled in, and I mean, to be honest, I don't know if it was just a new feel or new vibe or whatever, but I did my best surfing on the trip on this board for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That helps with the narrow tail, those powerful bully waves. It's interesting because back then all the boards were hand-shaped, and every board was kind of more different than the other. I could look at 3 boards from this era, and they were all they're not as refined and consistent nowadays with catch. So there was more like beautiful mistakes that might happen. Sometimes you have terrible mistakes. But the board was kind of parallel to here, and they had more of a break in the outline. It wasn't so refined and blended. The hips they're kind of narrower here, they're wider here, really important to have a little bit of tuck through this wide, we call it like ears here. So this parallel here also helps, parallel in the outline, helps keep speed with all that kick in the tail. It's just really important to make sure. Back then I probably didn't always have enough tuck here, so some boards feel tracky. You know, like the Andys, the Corys, the Warriors, the best surfers I worked with at that time. Be like, oh, this one doesn't work as good, it's all stitchy and sketchy. Knowing what I know now, you guys are really consciously tucked through this wide area right here. The fins, we did everything we could to replicate the exact glass on fins. The originals were made by Aircore, a guy out of Texas who made RTM fins. We all bought them, all the surfboard builders. Channel Islands kind of pioneered them. We had Vince and Futures try and replicate them with a little bit of that like skin tone pigment in the fin. We put the logos on just how we did then. We're trying to glass them on with the same exact technique. It's the same templates. Once again, some old Channel Islands template from 30 years ago. We went back and tried to use the same stringers from back then. It's not everyone now uses plywood, like a triple ply is the main go-to. Kind of the plywood in the modern era of performance boards, the triple plywood kind of gained popularity just after the turn of the century with the Australian Gold Trust guys like PhD, JS, etc. And everybody kind of jumped on it. It's it's really strong and rigid. They're a little heavier, but this is a single piece of timber. Yeah. So it's a light wood. It's I believe it's birch. Single timber, about 3/16 wide, and the timber is lighter than the plywood because the plies are all really dense and glued together and usually dyed a color. So the board's really light. It's glass with double 4. It's Arctic foam. It's their light foam, team foam. But we put 2 layers of foam on the 2 layers of glass on the deck, 1 on the bottom, classic fins, and it's just got a Mayhem on it because Andy never was able to have a loss on the board. I shaped it in '96, but he got a bunch of photos and some video in '97 on it. So we started calling it, oh, it's like the '97. That board that Andy had in '97. Yours doesn't have the artwork, but the main one had the artwork by Sean Spoda, one of our Posca Pen guys.
Okay.
And that art made that board kind of stick out from other boards I made him. You got a few shots and video clips. Most of the boards we're replicating that art. Drew Brophy himself.
Sick. I've seen the Drew ones. They came out rad.
Yeah. So it's in typical Lost fashion on the boards that we're releasing to go along with this 30-year anniversary is where they're from '96 or '97.
Yeah. Sometime in there.
Yeah, sometime in there. I believe it was shaped in the fall of '96, and all the content came out of that.
And then my other question would be just mainly like, what was Andy like when he was coming to you asking for boards or giving feedback on boards? Was there like something he was specifically looking for, or like what was he like when he would like come and order a board from you? Like,
in this era, he was pretty young and naive, and grew up kind of sheltered out in Hawaii. Our friends from Florida, Pat and Hopper, befriended him. They went over there and surfed with Bruce and Andy. Oh, you guys gotta get we were just starting to make a name for ourselves with some of the early movies, and they wanted to be a part of our little movie program.
Yeah, you guys were fun.
Yeah, which really went on, which really went wrong. They both scrambled to get into the Fish movie. So they were just young, impressionable kids. They were fun. You didn't really think like, oh, this guy's going to be a world champion, Bruce is going to win the Eddie. They were just like, super exciting, young, naive, playful kids, and they kind of slipped right in. They wanted to be on the program with Chris Ward and Cory Lopez. And, I wasn't quite ready for like the prevailing top dog pros at that time with my shaping or my business acumen. And the guys who were more established, like Dorians or the Machados or that momentum era. We were young and brash and loose and sloppy, so we were better off working with like these teenage wild man when we're just picky or
Yeah.
focused on professionalism.
Yeah, ride whatever and have fun.
Ride whatever and have fun.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, sick.
So we're rolling them out. Yeah, we didn't publicly release it. We privately released it to all the surf shops around the country.
Oh, sick.
And we ended up getting 100 or 200, bunch of orders. So we're busily attempting to make glass on.
Yeah.
So we have some really good crew here at the factory. The guys that remember the 80s and 90s and remember how to do glass on things the right way. And we're busily preparing them for release early summer. Once we release it to the stores, we'll be able to take custom orders and make them for anybody.
Definitely a cool board to have in your quiver, that's for sure.
It's really fun. Everyone seems to like it. You, Griffin, Yago, Crosby.
It's surprising how much more like an easy rider it is. I thought it was going to be like kind of like hard to ride or like whatever, dumbed down compared to wherever boards have gone nowadays, but hopping on it was
I mean, it's just
really
as much
nice.
volume as your normal board. It's just spread out differently.
Yeah.
6'2", 18 and 3/4, where your normal board might be 6'0", 19, but the same 29 liters.
Mm-hmm.
Another little subtle thing we did is we added liters just because why the hell not? I tried to follow like the pattern of the original boards with the stringer and the thing and everything, but I wanted to let people know when they pick it up and it feels like a needly board. Well, really, the foam's in there.
Yeah.
So you can see that, and then but we wrote all the other dimensions in fractions the way we did before the machines. So it's like 18 and 3/4, it's 2 and 3/8. It doesn't say decimals. It's all in fractions the way we used to write it. Tried to make it authentic, but I wanted to take some artistic license and some design liberty and add the volume because people really. I want to take a little bit of the nervousness from someone buying it. Go, whoa, this thing won't float me. Well, really, it's kind of hidden.
Yeah. Sick.
Okay.
Oh. Thank you. Board report.
Board.
Cool.
Board report. This thing looks mental. Look at that. Sharp.